on those bills and on the priorities that are incorporated in those bills. Mr. Leader, it appears that the majority has stalled somewhat in their efforts and path forward on repeal of the ACA, and President Trump's address on Tuesday seems to me didn't offer many details. He does say, however, that everybody is going to be covered, everybody, with better health care and cheaper. If that bill comes to the floor, I'm going to vote for it, Mr. Leader. I want you to know that. Health care for everybody, quality, accessible, affordable, and cheaper. Now, as the Majority Leader knows, the budget resolution that was passed this year set a deadline of January 27th for committees to report legislation repealing the law. It's now March 2nd, and there are reports, Mr. Leader, that Republicans have a draft bill, that it perhaps is located in H-157, that it's not being posted, and that Republicans have been told they can view it in H-157. I don't know that I have the room number correct, and I'm not sure that that information that I have is correct. But I will tell you that Michael Burgess, Dr. Burgess, on your side of the aisle, said this. He said it yesterday. People need to have access to this document. Apparently his presumption was he did not have access to the document, or he believed others should, not only members of our side of the aisle, but also the public. And if there are problems, let's talk through them. It's been a long time in the works. Most of the pieces that are in there, people have seen in one form or another in the past, but it does need to be an open process. Mr. Leader, let me repeat that. It does need to be an open process, according to Dr. Burgess. Gus Bilirakis says, we're not having a hearing or anything. We're not having a hearing or anything, but there'll be a place for us to view it in draft. Paul Ryan, the Speaker, said 3 days ago, we're going through the committee process. We're doing this step by step. We're having public hearings. We're having committee work on legislation. This is how the legislative process is supposed to be designed. We're not hatching some bill in a back room, perhaps H-157. He didn't say that. I said it. And plot American people front door. And Mr. Leader, you and I are both here when the Affordable Care Act was passed. There's a lot of talk about the Affordable Care Act and how it was passed in the dark of night. That was baloney, of course. We had 79 bipartisan hearings and markups over the 2 years that we considered the Affordable Care Act. House members spent nearly 100 hours in hearings, heard from 181 witnesses from both sides of the aisle, considered 239 amendments, both Democratic and Republican, and accepted 121 amendments. The original House bill was posted online 30 days before the first committee began their markup, and more than 100 days before the tri-committees formally introduced their merged bill in the House. House Democrats posted the House bill that was the final process online 72 hours before the bill was brought to the floor, consistent with our rules. Now, To my understanding, Ways and Means Committee has been told this bill is going to be marked up on Wednesday. There will not have been a single hearing. There will not have been a single witness. And members cannot, on our side of the aisle, as I understand it, see the bill today. I don't know where all my Tea Party friends are who demanded full consideration and that everybody read the bill. I don't know. I don't see them out on the lawn. I don't see them out on the plaza. I don't see them out on the sidewalk as they were when we were considering the bill. And we had those 181 witnesses, the 100 hours of hearings that they thought weren't sufficient. I don't know whether they'll think that having a markup next Wednesday, when the bill has not even been made available to Democratic members of the House, apparently Republican members have to go to a room to see it, and the public clearly has no idea of what that bill is. Mr. Leader, I hope you will tell me that I'm wrong, that there will be hearings consistent with what Speaker Ryan said 3 days ago. I hope you will tell me, yes, we're going to honor what Speaker Ryan said, and that we're going to have those hearings. We're going to have witnesses. We're going to consider amendments. All of us understand that this is one of the biggest issues confronting the American people. We have had hundreds of thousands of people showing up at town meetings saying how concerned they are. And yet, if my information is correct, Mr. Leader, they will have no opportunity to talk to the Ways and Means Committee. I am further informed, and I hope the Majority Leader says this is wrong, that the markup will occur before the Congressional Budget Office has the opportunity to say how much it's going to cost. All this weeping and gnashing of teeth about balanced budgets and fiscal responsibility. A bill that affects 18% of the gross domestic product and the critical need for people to have access to affordable quality health care. Not one of them will have an opportunity to know how much this repeal will cost. Again, Mr. Leader, I hope you're going to be able to tell me, no, Mr. Whip, we're going to have hearings. We understand how important this issue is, and how much interest there is in this country. And we're going to give time for serious consideration. And we're going to have witnesses come before those hearings. And then after the witnesses, we're going to have a markup after substantial debate and consideration is allowed on both sides of the aisle. I now yield to the Majority Leader with the hopes that he will be able to give me some degree of confidence that Paul Ryan, our Speaker, was correct, that we're going to follow regular order and make a transparent consideration of this piece of legislation. I yield to my friend.
Well, I thank the gentleman for yielding. I always look forward to your quotes. They're always quite interesting. Now you've gone beyond.